Gave us the power, so we He's showing out, that's why we
Yo, we are back. Episode 46 of the Not the Same Podcast Sports Show. Hosted by your brother, your one word, Mr. C. Micah, and my brother, my one word over there, meaning my homie, Mr. Rob Redeem. Brother, what's good?
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. A lot to talk about in sports tonight. We live.
Tarcia, what's up, sis?
What's going on, sis? What up, Mr. G? It feel like
G,
we ain't been on
sir?
for a minute, bro. And it's only been a week. It seemed like when we hit them 2 show weeks, not 3 shows,
It
feel
be
like
hard.
forever.
It'd be so hard, man. But hey, we back, man. Had a long, like Rob said, a long little layoff. It feel like Rob said, man, been laid off for a month and all that. It ain't been up but a couple of days, but hey, man.
Right.
We'll be all right, man. We back, man. We excited. A whole lot of stuff going on in sports. Before we dig into all this, if you are watching the Not the Same Podcast right now, Not the Same Podcast Sports Show, if you're watching us live exclusively on YouTube, I need you to do a favor and hit this like button when it get to moving in a second. Hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button as well as hit the notification bell so you will know when the Not the Same Podcast Sports Show or Bible study or music and faith show is going live. You know what I'm saying?
Whenever the one words get live. We also want to give a shout out to our rebroadcasters, man. We're gonna start a homegrown Scooter Praise 365 Radio. Thank you for rebroadcasting the Not the Same Podcast. Parable Radio, Who's Hop His Hop out on the left coast, Las Vegas. Sam His Hop Stewart for the His Hop Podcast Network. RYC Praise News, our homeboy Orlando Page, 520 Collective. And we always like to give a shout out to our MTMV fam. And if you want to be a rebroadcaster of the Not the Same Podcast, hit us up, man. We might be able to make something work.
We might for a small fee. It won't be free. No, I'm kidding, but it might be. That being said, man, let's get into what's poppin'.
Let's get
Somebody tell me what's poppin'. That brother called me Pastor Mars. I am not Pastor Mars. Anyway, yeah, man. So first thing we'll get into NFL Week 4 updates. Mr. Davis, what it is.
Hey, look, I got a couple of games that stood out to me. 49ers, they kind of like they looked real good over the Rams this past week. And my man, shoot, I can't even think. What's pretty boy name? I can't even think of his name, man. I just went blank. But the quarterback for the 49ers. Yeah, G. So Jimmy G looked real good coming back. They won 24-9. Another thing, Eagles continue to soar, beating the Jags 29-21.
Yes, sir.
Raiders got their first win, but Carr still has not thrown a touchdown, bro. That is amazing to me. Adams did catch a touch. I mean, he didn't catch a touchdown, but he had 101 yards. So at least this week, Carr decided, let me throw to this one word, and he actually used one of his weapons. And the biggest thing from last week, forget the games, was the Tua scare down and the Bengals lost, man. That was bad.
It's crazy.
Bro.
And if you did not see this, and we'll get into it in a little bit more depth a little bit later in the show, but basically Tua Tagovailoa, I believe that's how you say his name.
Yeah, what you said.
The week before seemingly had a concussion. He was hit so hard that when he walked off the field, he stumbled twice.
That boy was woozy.
Yeah, my man was woozy. He was weak in the knees like SWV. You gotta be seasoned, know who that is. But yeah, the women with them long fingernails. But yeah, he was woozy, walking, stumbling when he walked off. You know what I'm saying? And they checked him. They said we investigated the concussion protocol, and we see that he is fine. He just had a back injury, and he had, I think, like a ankle injury. And then the very next game, and it was also a short week because they played on Sunday. And then they played again on Thursday. And on Thursday, he gets hit. And next thing you know, he's laying down throwing gang signs, not on purpose, because his mind is basically bruised and is seizing his hands. It was scary to see. If you saw it, it makes you very uncomfortable to watch. Yeah. And, people to pay. Somebody going to have to pay for that. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
No, I mean, that was the biggest standout. That was my standouts for this past week. That was the biggest one, man. I just feel like the negligence on Miami's organization for the sake of a win. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not really, after what they did to Brian Flores, and then they continue to do this whole foolery type stuff that they do, you know what I mean, for the sake of a dub. You know what I mean? Like, stop it. Y'all still trying to get back to the glory days when y'all went undefeated. Come on. It's different now. You know, so I don't get it.
We'll get more into it a little bit later in the show. Next thing, college football updates. There was some almost scares. What you got for that, brother?
Yeah, I don't have a problem. The top 5 did come out. There was a few scares. Bama's back number 1. Georgia number 2. Ohio State number 3. Number 4 is Michigan. Number 5 is Clemson. Look, TCU ran all over Oklahoma last week, bro. I'm talking about they beat them 55. I can't look at the scroll. It'll tell you the ticker down low. But, hey, they ran all over them boys. Georgia Tech beat then number 24 Pittsburgh. And that Wake Forest and Florida State game was definitely good. It was an ACC matchup, number 22 versus number 24, if I'm not mistaken, last week. The new rankings, they're not in the top 5, so I don't have them up here. But those were some pretty good games, man. The one thing I will say about this year's college football, a lot of parity, man. A lot of parity where at any given week, somebody can win and take you out. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm loving it right now.
Couple of thoughts. Bama had a little bit of trouble with Arkansas, and then, Bama – and also, Bryce Young, their quarterback, got hurt too in that game. Arkansas got close. Then Bama backup, who was a 4-star recruit, because that's all they have is 4 and 5 stars. It's Bama, and he realized, hey, I'm a 4-star recruit, and he started playing good, and all of a sudden Bama took off. Georgia really, really had a scare by our state school, the Mizzou, almost handed them boys an L. Now Mizzou ain't that good. Let's be real. Mizzou ain't that good this year, but they almost sent Georgia home with an L. So that was very, very good. And my last thing to add to that, Kansas remains undefeated. Kansas is not a good football team. Never. And they are this year. So salute to them. They actually have, a game day coming there Saturday. And,
which is big.
That's
hopefully
big.
It don't. Hey, when it come to game day and stuff, like I'm not into, jinx and all that stuff. But when it come to football and basketball, man, I'm telling you, the little superstitious stuff, it seemed to hold true in the players' mind, bro.
Madden cover.
It hold true. It hold true in these players' minds whenever the stuff, unless you Patrick Mahomes, he got on the cover and still won the Super Bowl. So
and game day did come to Memphis and we won. So. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, next subject, Aaron Judge hits his 62nd home run. I got some thoughts on this, but go ahead, brother.
Hey, go ahead and get that clap for this man, because this is history being made, bro. So, shout out to Aaron Judge, man. He hits his 6th, becoming the American League all-time home run single season, passing Roger Maris. Now, the reason why this matters so much, because if y'all remember, Mark McGwire did it, but then that was the steroid era. They had made this big deal about it. So for him to do it and it's so-called pure, we'll see what pops off of it. What's your thoughts on it, man?
My thoughts is this. Congratulations to him for winning the American League award. Yeah. But to me, the whole league, what up, V? Salute, V. And this is no hate because I know you a Yankees fan. Good to see you, sis. But I am fine with him winning this. He should be celebrated. But to me, that award remains with Barry Bonds. I don't care that it was a steroids era. If you know baseball, Barry Bonds was fired before he started taking steroids. And this is my thing about people that's so righteous and over belligerent about the steroid era. Let me say this, dog. Everybody was playing steroids. So how much was an advantage was it at that time? And this here, just because it makes you stronger, like, Mark McGwire, he was good 1 year. He had that one super year. Sammy Sosa was good 1 year, got to court and started talking about I speak no English. Lying, right?
Hey, look,
Barry Bonds,
Go ahead,
Barry
bro.
Bonds, he's one of the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to take away from Aaron Judge for real, because salute to him for doing this. But I don't want them to sweep Barry Bonds away because he was doing it in the steroid era, and he probably had steroids. But this is the point. This is why they don't like Barry Bonds. He wasn't kissy-kissy with the media. And this is why they dog Barry Bonds. But at the end of the day, my man was a beast, dog. So, salute to Aaron Judge. He did do it. And also salute to our homegrown Mr. Albert Pujols, who is at 703 right now, I believe, home runs. Yeah. So, but big salute to Aaron Judge as well. And Yankees, re-sign that man. Don't be stupid.
You better.
Re-sign that man. You know what I mean?
You better. Yeah.
All right. Next subject, 174 people died in Indonesian soccer game stampede. This is sad. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
So the death toll actually went down to 125, but it's still 125 people dead. I went over 320 people were injured though. And what happened is there was some stuff going on where supporters of the Indonesia team was agitated off of a violation that took place during the game. The police came in, shot off tear gas, and figured, okay, we need to control the crowd. And the stampede happened, and what they're saying is the gates were too small. Either way it goes, you do not go. Like, for that stadium, the gates were too small. It's like going to the Yankee Stadium, you know what I'm saying, and you got high school gates there. You know good and well.
Right.
All these people here to see Judge hit 62, and you got these little high school gates, and then something pop off, and everybody trying to get off. 125 people dead, 320 injured. It's just a sad thing. But football, they are known for riots. They're known for stampedes. They're known for all types of chaos. And I'm talking about football, F-U-T-B-O-L.
Football.
And soccer is what we call it, football, yes. So sad, and prayers go out to the families, man.
Prayers go out, man.
They went out to have a good time and end up losing their lives.
Overseas, sports hit different, dog. Literally.
They do.
Sports hit different. People that play overseas, basketball players, they get things thrown at them, batteries thrown at them. They get they just different, man. It's different overseas, man. But it's a shame. I hate that many people, over 100 people dying is a shame at a sporting event. It just shouldn't happen without somebody coming in with unless it was like a mass shooting. It wasn't even that. You know what I mean? So that's just a shame, bro. For real.
Straight stampede, bro.
All right, this last subject, man, I'm aggravated to even read this, but let's get into it. Culture of abuse being investigated in the NWSL. That is the National Women's Soccer League. But it is a division of women's soccer, to let y'all know what that is. Go ahead, bro.
All right. The one thing that stuck out to me in the press conference is the fact that they had to defend those players who spoke up to say something. And this is what I mean. The first thing out their mouth, they had to defend these women by saying this is not a case of being overly sensitive or coaches coaching them too hard. But that shit never even came out.
Why would you even say that? You know what I mean?
But my point is society and corporations alike, and I got to read what I put out earlier. Society and corporations alike have this bad habit of putting these damaging labels on people, usually minorities and women, when they go to report or speak up for something that is happening to them. The very first thing they do is say you're sensitive, say you're this, say you're that, so they can discredit what you're saying. And folks, if they put that label on you, anything else that comes out of your mouth now doesn't have the merit that it needs for your complaint. With that being said, there was proof of women being degraded, manipulated by words, strong suggestions of consequences if they report it, stuff like, well, if you don't do this, then your playing time going to be this. If you don't do this, then you won't get that bonus. Those type of things where you manipulate a player so that you can get your agenda off. And see, you told me something that these coaches do, how they get recycled in these NDAs. Speak on it, bro.
Yeah, so there's NDAs for these coaches when they fired by this team. And this team, in this league, I think it's like 15 teams, right? Half of the coaches have been fired within the last 2 years, and they have been recycled, kind of like NFL coaches. Here's the kicker. Every time they're fired with the NDA, not disclosing, that's a non-disclosure agreement, but basically not disclosing what they were fired for. They keep it hush-hush. What they keep it hush-hush is all those things that Rob said, including sexual abuse. Being swept under the way because these are women. This is a problem. Listen, we talk about this all the time with the WNBA and sports like that. Now, we don't hear about this type of problems with the WNBA. We get them treated wrong, not getting the support they need and all that. The sexual abuse seems to happen with gymnastics, where these coaches are right up on folks, swimming teams, you know what I'm saying, and now the soccer players. And they said it has even been happening in youth soccer. Look, dog, you need to be shot. Now, listen, I ain't saying somebody had to be dead, but you need your tail whooped messing with these little girls, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've admitted, man, I'm 45 years old. What would I look like messing around with a 19-year-old woman? That is a child to me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so if you're a coach and you saying, yo, you have to take care of me for you to get more playing time, man, you need your tail whooped, dog. For real.
Yeah. Sleeves
for real. You need them paws put on you, man. For real. Because you ain't worth nothing. Because if you would do that, you'll rape her. If you'll do that just for favors, you'll rape her just to get what you want. And the sad part is the people up top, as in so many industries, the people up top with money and that good old boy society just turn their head and let that go. Because, we got to keep the product good. We got to keep, we trying to get the sales up. We trying to be able to pay y'all. You want to get paid, you got to keep quiet about that. You'll be all right. Did you get whooped? Did you get hurt? Like, come on, man. These people got to deal with that trauma from now on in the rest of their life, man. That's just a big
no.
For real.
Yeah.
Man.
Agreed.
Anyway, anything else on that, brother?
No, it's sad, and I hope justice is served for anybody who was a victim, man. Like,
for real,
what? Right now, we are fortunate we're fortunate but unfortunate to be where everybody is woke and cognizant of whatever's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm conscious of what I'm saying. I have to be better with my words. I have to do this. So with this investigation, do something about it. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And if it's gonna mess up money, money talks. And y'all know what runs a marathon. And that's what they're gonna call all these allegations. And I'll leave it at that.
All right, man. Let's get into our soapbox segment.
Soapbox.
Last segment got me kind of aggravated. We're going to shake it off. But listen, man, this is our soapbox segment where me and Rob go in on particular subjects for 2 minutes. We say what we want to say. We stand on our soapbox and scream from the rooftops about what we are mad about. Rob, Rob normally does a sports situation. A lot of times I do real life situation. Today will be different. But as usual, we have a timer that looks like this. My bad, I forgot about other part. And when it's over, you got a buzzer that sounds like this. All right, I always let my brother Robert Dean go first. My brother, is you ready?
Let's get it, man.
All right.
Scapegoat, a person who was blamed for wrongdoings, mistakes, or faults of others, especially for reasons expediently. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You may be familiar with some of the following. Nick Anderson in the 95 finals versus Houston, he couldn't hit a free throw to save his life. The Magic end up getting swept 4-0. Nick Anderson becomes the scapegoat, what nobody really tripped off of. A veteran Elijah One schooled a young Shaquille O'Neal. Scott Norwood missing the field goal against the Giants. B, you still on here? That year your Giants beat my Bills. I was a big Bills fan. He missed a 47-yard field goal, but guess what? It was out of his range. My man hadn't kicked over 40 for the entire season, but once. What they didn't say was how bad the Buffalo Bills played. The Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed. None of those people showed up, but they blamed Scott Norwood for missing the game-winning field goal. Probably the most famous scapegoat of all time is Cubs fan Steve Barton. You know my man who caught that foul ball when they was playing up against the Marlins, the Florida Marlins that year? They were up 3-0 in the 8th inning. They blew the lead, and ultimately they lost the game. Now, this is what happened. A gang of fans put their glove out, foul ball hit, Cub player couldn't catch it, and it fell in Mr. Bartman's, Steve, fell in Bartman's glove. Everybody had their glove out, but it fell in Bartman's glove. And my man had to get escorted out that mug because he received real death threats. The Cubs haven't won since 1945. My point is this, man, about this soapbox. It happens in all walks of life, and honestly, it's unfortunate. But in my soapbox, what I say is death to scapegoats, man. Make these folks responsible for their own actions. I'm sick and tired of corporations doing it. ESPN did it to Rachel Nichols. The trainer doctor for the Dolphins, we'll talk about it later. The Heat did it to LeBron James, and the Dolphins also did it to Brian Flores, man. Look, forget a scapegoat. Be a man, be a woman, own up to your mistakes, and keep it pushing. Let's go, man.
Absolutely. I'm with it. All right. My soapbox is one that you gonna never hear me say, but you gonna hear it for real. If you have been watching this show, if you know me personally, if you see me right now, I have this team on my head, this team on my shirt. I am a Memphis Grizzlies fan. I have been a Memphis Grizzlies fan since they moved to the city of Memphis over 20 years ago. I liked them with Zebo. I liked them with Pau Gasol. I liked them with Mark Gasol. I liked them with all these players. I've been this biggest fan. So my soapbox tonight is on they had an NBA GM survey, right? In this survey, they had a ranking of who's the best point guard, right? We have a point guard by the name of Mr. Ja Morant. Do you know the audacity of these one words? Brother, he did not have 1 vote as a top point guard. Not one. Now, let me tell you who did have votes. 3% of the votes is Trae Young. Okay, we can argue with that. Trae Young is a point guard. He is pretty good. He's been to the NBA Finals before, the Eastern Conference Finals before. I think Ja's better, but I can take that argument. They had Chris Paul. Now, Chris Paul is considered what? He is considered a point guard. But Chris Paul is 38 years old. Chris Paul last year, that this poll was about, last year is not better than Ja Morant. If you say that, you are literally making me shake my head. What is wrong with you? A 23-year-old Ja Morant is so much better than 38-year-old Chris Paul. Now, 23-year-old Chris Paul, now that hit different. But that's not what we're talking about. We talking about they didn't give this man one vote. Let me go through this, and I may go a little bit over my time. Ja Morant last year was an NBA point guard starter, right? Ja Morant was the most improved player. Ja Morant was the only other team in the NBA that took the Golden State Warriors to 6 games. Ja Morant. And they took his team from 38 wins to 56 wins, and they have the audacity to say this man is only, you know where he got rankings at, Rob? As being the fastest with the ball, and also with being the most athletic. So you know what they're doing to this man? They're making him Russell Westbrook. Yeah. If you have ever watched, look at me and tell me you have never watched the Memphis Grizzlies. You have never watched Ja Morant. All you seen is highlights. Because if you ever watched Ja Morant, he is so much more than athleticism. That's all I'm going to say. That's my soapbox today.
You know why I had it, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why he got it. He got it because his team was winning when he was out. And unfortunately, it fell on him.
Anyway, yes, I hate that stupid thing, but they always say that. Yes, they won without. It's because we have a very good backup point guard, you idiots. Let me pull from this. But, yes, I said because we have a very good backup point guard, which is Tyus Jones. Duke Nation, Rob love Duke.
Already.
He's a starting level point guard. That is why they didn't lose. But anyway, on to the next subject. This is our debate fuel segment with me and Rob go back and forth on particular subjects. We have a time to look like this. We go for 5 minutes, and when it's over, you hear a buzzer that sounds like this. First subject today: NFL Week 4, impressed and depressed. Mr. Davis, let's go with your NFC impressed.
Impressed by the NFC? I will say this. How about them Cowboys? I remember that old saying. The Cowboys continue to win despite losing Dak and are 3-1, tied for second in their division. I said this last week that the Cowboys could go 3-2 or 4-1 in their next 5 games. They're already up 1-0 right now. So with that being said, in this 5-game stretch, until Jerry proves me wrong, Dak, you in trouble.
Absolutely trouble.
Go ahead, bro.
Anyway, I'm looking at Crispy because, he always saying something slick. My NFC team is the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the only undefeated team in the NFL right now. They are awesome. They were actually down this week, and they came back and basically blew them out. Basically blew them out. You know what I mean? They are a totally complete team. My man, Jalen Hurts, has become a better quarterback. I was about to say point guard, basically the same position in 2 different sports. He's become so much better. He could throw the ball and all that. And Crispy is happy saying tighten up because, yes, y'all, the Raiders got y'all win, and y'all won again, and y'all will win the division because y'all division is trash. But y'all are a good team, too. I can't hate on y'all. Also, my secondary dude is the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys. They're still doing good with the backup quarterback like Rob talked about. Yeah. So, NFC depressed, brother.
Hey, I got to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. They only rushed for 3 yards against the Chiefs. I'm talking about 3 yards, period. Not for the team. The team, Craig. They only had 3 yards rushing last week against the Chiefs. Although Brady had 385 yards passing and 3 TDs, he didn't have no picks. But they only had 3 yards rushing, man. You and I can fall forward for 3 yards. But you can't win if you can't run the football. All they have to do is drop back in pass protection, and there it is. Now you're looking at Tampa Bay. They're now 2-2 on the season, and it doesn't get any easier for them, being that they are as good as they are. Go ahead.
Crispy, I'll get to you later, but how you blow somebody out when they down, go watch the game for last week. That's how. Who I think it was bad in the NFC is the Commanders. I'm not going to go into depths. The name, number one, the Commanders. If you saw their hype video, they have a fire beat with a bunch of 80s-style rap. you should jump off a bridge for that. Don't literally jump off a bridge, but like just why? And then also they're a terrible team, and you got I forgot dude named the quarterback, but he trash. Used to be the quarterback for the Colts, Carson Wentz. That says it all. AFC impress, brother.
My AFC impress, I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
They impressed me this week with the way they dominated all the way around. Mahomes, he threw a pick, but my man had 3 TDs to 3 different receivers. That means that's an all-around game. The running game had 2 different backs over 50 yards, which means a lot. And like I said, Mahomes ran for 34 of his own yards. The defense held what I just said about them. Tampa Bay to 3 yards total as a team, 3 rushing yards. Listen, do me a favor, everybody listening to the sound of my voice. When we go off, not right now, fall forward. That's 3 yards. Go ahead, man.
I also have the Chiefs. I hate to be to over-duplicate this, but the Chiefs are awesome. They are awesome again. I think right now they have surpassed the Bills as, I think, the best team in the NFL. The Bills they had too many close games. We'll talk about that game later, but the Chiefs are a problem right now. They are a problem. They are a problem. They are a problem. All right. D-press for the AFC, brother.
The Steelers. I'm sorry, Just James, if you catch this later, but the Pittsburgh Steelers can't seem to get it right, man. They 1-3 on the season between Trubisky, who has 650 yards total for the season, 2 touchdowns and 2 INTs. Then they went to the backup, Pickett, thought he was going to come in, right?
Homegrown.
Homegrown. This man comes in and throw 3 picks.
I will say this. They were not his fault. Although they count for him, they was in their hand. The dudes dropped it, but he still threw 3 picks at the end of the day.
That ain't
3
what they
picks
thought.
Or 3 picks. You're right, brother.
When they benched Trubisky, this man came in. Big Ben is right now. This is why they held on to Big Ben as long as he did. This is why all his foolery was washed away, because Big Ben could do what he did. But Tomlin will adjust soon enough. But for now, Steelers, you're my pick for the for the D-press, man.
AFC depressed for me is the Denver Broncos. You are probably one of the most depressing teams in the whole NFL. You have what we thought was a good Russell Wilson. He may have just got old, and now he has a hurt shoulder. But they are terrible. They got a dumb coach, and I hate to say this. I don't know this, man, but he do dumb stuff all the time. And they're just a bad team. They're a depressed team. I don't care if they won. They're a depressing team. They're trash. They trash. They should be good. They should be good. They got too much talent to be that bad, man. I'm just saying. All right, man. Next subject is this here. We are going to who should get the blame for the tour industry. Tour injury / concussion. My bad. Who should get the blame for the tour injury / concussion? My bad. Go ahead, sir.
All them 1 words.
Yeah, man.
The doctor. The Dolphins, and Tua. Look, Tua, I know you want the bag. I know this is your profession, your competitive nature.
Yeah, man.
But, brother, when you got up off that field last week,
you knew you wasn't right.
You was your legs had you tip drilling. Like, this boy was like, that boy.
Not tip drill. Don't pull out the credit card, brother.
Hey, that boy was woozy as woozy could get, bro. I'm telling you, like, he couldn't. And then they say, my neck and my back. No, it wasn't your neck and your back, brother. You were concussed. You dig what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with the ankle. You were concussed. And the competitive nature in him, this is why I blame him. The competitive nature in him said, no, I'm going to play. The Dolphins, so thirsty on winning, said, no, he's going to play. And the doctor was like, well, okay, I'll write off on it. And this goes back to scapegoat.
Yep.
Now this man had lost his job. Right. Tua could possibly have lost his career. One more bad hit, this man might be gone for good. I'm letting y'all know that right now. It only one wrong hit, one forward. Remember them 3 yards? I say fall forward, you get 3. Let him fall forward and get his head hit. This man could possibly lose his life.
Yes.
This one bothers me, bro. It really bothers me. Go ahead.
This is going to end up being a big lawsuit, whether they want to do it or not. And the NFL is trying to posture themselves to get out of. They have already fired this doctor called the NFL Players Association. I sent you this text earlier about that. Is they're posturing to try to get out of this lawsuit. But this is going to be a lawsuit because this man was clearly concussed a week ago. the game before, and it was on a short week, which means they played on Sunday. They played again on Thursday, and within that first quarter, he was playing all right. Next thing you know, like I said, he was on the ground, and his hands were seized up. It was jarring to see. You dig what I'm saying? That means his head, I heard some people talk about this. That means his head was hit so hard he lost his motor functions for a minute.
Yep.
So his whole body was stiff. They was worried would he even have lower body motion. Dig what I'm saying? Like, man, that is such a problem. That's such a problem. Lawsuit by who? I don't know, but it's going to be a lawsuit. It's going to end up being a lawsuit. Listen, I understand. I'm going to let you go, bro. But listen, I understand the NFL is a violent sport and you sign up for it, right? But what if this man never plays again? He's going to sue the NFL. Trust me. He is.
At least Miami.
Yes, he going to sue them. That's what's going to happen. Because they could have prevented this. But like Rob said, we also have to blame TOWOTD, but all players going to say, oh, no, I'm good, I can play. Because players want to play. It don't matter what sport it is. Players want to play. But this is bad, man. Go ahead, bro.
I look at this, man. You got to think about it. It was 4 days in between games. And because you got to think about it. And if y'all don't know what I'm saying, they played Sunday. So Sunday he got hurt. Yes. We ain't going to even count Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're traveling. And then on the 4th day, they played again. So in reality, he had 2.5 days to get himself together to go out there and play on Thursday night. And look what happened. This is, when I tuned in, the injury had already happened. And they were happy that he had movement of his extremities because they didn't think he was going to have any of that. You dig what I'm saying? And it's bad because now, I would look at Miami. But you got to look at clauses and contracts because we always look at the signing bonus. The one thing that we forget that this is his profession. You know what I mean? And you go to work sick. Incentives. What we don't know incentive clauses. Players think about their incentive clauses. I got to get so many yards per game in order to get this incentive to pop in so I can get this extra $1 million bonus. And that's how they're operating in order to move forward, man. And it's unfortunate. I just pray that the dude, I pray the dude be all right, man. I
think this point that Mr. G said do make sense, though. Tua knew he was concussed, right? So Mr. G is saying he can't sue because he knew he was concussed. Maybe so. This is what I say, man. It was a bad move on everybody. This is my opinion on it's just terrible on everyone. And the fact that it was, man, it's hurting everybody, man. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. And like you said, every player is going to play. They got incentives. They got bonuses. They're going to try to play. And most players feel like they're chumps if they quit and they don't play. But look, bro, that was bad, man. That was scary. I never seen that. Now, look, I seen people concussed. And most of the times when people got a halfway look of concussion, they sit them out. You know what I mean? But Miami has a bad history of doing this stuff, man. Remember, they broke the rules to try to get Brady. You know what I'm saying? We forget about that. But anyway, Crispy said all the teams that got a fish in them just bad. And he ain't lying. All right, man. Next subject. We're going to move on. All right. Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Murray, and Zion all returned after missing last season. Who will have a bigger impact? Like I said, Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Murray, and Zion. That is Zion Williams. Is that if you don't know, after all return after missing last season, who will have a bigger impact for their team?
Okay, it's no secret I'm going with Dookie here. But I want to say this. I said this when we talked about the bigger impact if they stayed healthy between AD and Zion. And if Zion stays healthy, I'm letting y'all know now the Pelicans will be in the top 5 out west in no particular order. I'm not saying number 1, but this is what he did in last night's game. He had 13 points on 4 for 6 shooting, 5 for 5 from the line. You know what I'm saying? He was 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal in 13 minutes. And he looked good. And weight-wise, all the memes that we had, like it was Photoshop, that brother looked solid out there. He was
real.
He was ready. And with that being said, looking at Jamal Murray on Monday night, he had 10 points, 4 for 7 shooting, 2 rebounds, 2 assists in 15 minutes. And Kawhi Leonard had 11 points on 3 for 8 shooting, 4 boards, 2 assists. My point that I'm making right here is this. All 3 of these teams are going to be in the top 5 if these players stay healthy. They'll be in the top 5 in the Western Conference in no particular order. Go ahead, C.
First of all, I'm laughing at Mr. G. The team doctors will have a bigger impact. To me personally, I believe I say Kawhi Leonard. I think of all these players, he's the best player. I have the least hope that he will be healthy, though. I have the most hope that Zion will probably be healthy. Even though, although Zion has been hurt a lot in his career, I think he's never looked this small. That's the thing. That's the difference this time. He lost a lot of weight, and he ain't looked like this since he was in Duke. But Kawhi Leonard, I think, is the best player of all these players. But he is very fragile. But Kawhi, we have to remember, Kawhi Leonard took 2 teams to the championship, 2 different teams, 2 different conferences. You know what I mean? So, to answer the question, I'm just gonna go on the other side. I say Kawhi. Say Kawhi.
Okay. Here's the deal with Kawhi and why I can agree with you on that one. Zion's gonna have more pressure on him because they don't have the stacked team. Jamal Murray has Porter Jr. He has the Joker up there. You know what I'm saying? He has a squad around him that made it to the playoffs without him. Kawhi Leonard, y'all can say what y'all want to, but he got John Wall around him. He has, playoff P around him, and a slew of other players. Zubac, who's a decent center for that team. So he has the complete team around him where he can take nights off. Where for Zion, although Ingram and CJ McCollum is there, a lot of that's getting ready to fall on him now that he's back. You know what I'm saying? And so it's going to be, I can see why you would go with Kawhi. I just think Zion and them, I think they make that push this year and hurt some feelings. They could be this year's Memphis Grizzlies is what I would say.
Absolutely. They have a very good team. They got a very deep team as well. Now, they had the big stars, like you say. You got C.J. McCullough, and you got my man
Brandon
Ingram, and Zion. Yeah. Zion is clearly the one. The only thing I think that would mess up the New Orleans Pelicans, as we're talking about them, is them figuring out who's number one, right? Because Ingram going to think he's the one. He's been an all-star. He's been an all-NBA. He's been very, very good with Zion out. C.J. McCullough stayed in the back seat of Dame for years. Do you think he want to stay in the back seat now? I'm not sure about that. But Zion is a freak of nature. Everybody sees him and be like, okay, that guy is different than everybody else. And he's very hard to stop. He's he has a high field goal percentage around the rim because basically he jumps so high.
Bro.
Crazy field goal percentage. He's hitting his free throws. If he ever starts hitting threes, I mean, he's already unstoppable to me because who's big enough to really slow him down? You know what I mean? That's the thing with him. I think, that's the biggest danger to come out the West to me other than obviously Golden State. But at some point, Golden State, people are going to start getting old. May not be this year. But health is undefeated. Golden State's best players are guards. They're going to slow down at some point. Steph going to always be able to shoot, though. But the Pelicans. They're going to be a problem, man. They're a very good team, very balanced. A lot of these no-name players, the little Hispanic guy, little point guard, that's a net.
Run up behind you and steal
he nice. You know what I'm saying? They got a very, very big team. Ingram, Zion, and Urkel in that order. he do look like not Urkel. What's the cool Urkel? Steve Vaughn, yeah. He do look a lot like him. All right, man. Next subject. All right. So that was a game on Sunday with the Ravens versus the Bills. What happened? The question is, was Coach Harbaugh wrong for not taking the field goal and going for it on the 4th down, and they lost to the Bills? What happens is it was like a minute left in the game. They was in field goal range. It was 4th down. They could have just kicked the field goal. It was a tie game, and they could kick the field goal, be up 3 also, and so they could have had the points, right? They didn't kick the field goal. They go for it in 4th. Now, going for it on 4th, I'm kind of answering my own, but let me go, bro. Going for it on 4th, the good thing about that would have been you do have Lamar Jackson. He's hard to hold. Another good thing is if you would have just thrown the ball away, they would have had to start like at the 10-yard line. They had to go 90 yards to score. When they did not do that and turn the ball over on downs, he didn't throw it away. It was actually intercepted in the end zone. They started at the 20, 80 yards. They go down, they score, win the game.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
man. Here's the deal. He don't have faith in his kicker. That's when you see stuff like this. Hey, I don't know if anybody ever watched high school or college football, but when I played ball in like grade school, we didn't have a kicker. You know what we had to do? We went for 2 every shot because we didn't have nobody that can kick the field goal. And some of these NFL kickers, these coaches, look, kickers they not a dime a dozen. They every now and then. He can kick it off great, but he not that accurate when it comes to certain distances and certain whatevers. And when you see a coach do that, they don't have no faith in their kicker, man, and that's how I look at it. So yeah, he went for it.
I feel like also he don't have no faith in his defense, and their defense ain't great, But I feel like you put that on your defense. You scored a 3, put points on the board, in my opinion, and then you trust your defense to be able to stick them. But at least you got the 3 because they lost by 3. They didn't lose by a touchdown, which means the other team just got down there and kicked the field goal. You could have stayed in the game, at least got it to overtime.
Yeah.
Mr. G says this: Brady, Manning, or Rodgers would have thrown that ball away. Yes, Lamar Jackson is not Brady, Manning, or Rodgers. But I don't put this on LeBron. I don't put this on Lamar Jackson. The coach put him in that position. I'm just saying, Lamar gonna do what he gonna try to do. He gonna try to win the game. He gonna try to be the hero. But I think they should just kick the field goal. So much so, one of their players was trying to get that coach to put some pause on him. You know what I'm saying? This was another game. Let me look at my notes here. They were up. I believe they was up like 17 on them and lost again. The game before they was up by 20 and lost. You know what I'm saying? So they got like this bad habit of just losing when they got a lead, man. Like it's crazy. Go ahead, bro.
No, it's one of the situations where right now, I told you, Baltimore and them getting ready to try to move forward, it was going to be too much on Lamar Jackson. He still had 70 yards. Like him and Josh Allen rushed for over 70 yards this past week, but he still had 70 yards on the ground, and they just couldn't get it. They couldn't get it done, man. I don't know. Harbaugh dropped the ball on it, and he's a defensive type coach minded dude. So if your defense
have a lot of faith in him.
Right. If your defense not up to par, I didn't even think about it from that standpoint. I just looked at the kicker with all these kickers missing these field goals. So I just looked at it from that standpoint. I didn't even look at it from a defensive. He didn't have faith in his defense. But that falls on you as the whole head coach if you didn't think you was going to be able to stop him. And obviously they couldn't. They went marched right down the field. All right, we got to kick and we good.
Yep. Mr. G say, from past history, would you have suspended Peters for his outburst at the end? That's what I was talking about, where he tried to get with him, put some pause on him for not kicking the field goal. So he's asking, would you think coach would, or you think the team should suspend him? Because I guess he's had these outbursts before from his history.
Yeah, but you got to understand, when you have outbursts like that and you play football, a lot of coaches like that fire in you. So it's the intensity and it's the moment of the game. And if you know your personnel, like you got workers, I got workers. I know the personality of some of my workers. So when they get passionate and they're venting to me, I'm not writing them up because they went and vented to me in the you know what I'm saying? Even if they had an outburst I'm going to take them in, I'm going to talk to them. But me as their manager, I know the personalities of my workers. So no, I don't know if suspension is it, but it's high intense, adrenaline rushing at that point.
Man, it's a bunch of grown men out there playing and they hyped up. And coach knew he was wrong. That's what I'm saying. That one word, knew he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's why ain't nothing going to happen to Peters. And when he talked about Peters, he didn't say, no, it's okay. We talked. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't shoot him down. Now, I think if he would have shot him down in the post game, then, he was going to get suspended. But coach knew he was wrong, too. It was a questionable call. But he tried to stand on it like, nah, it wasn't questionable. Anyway, man, let's get into the one word of the day before we get on up out of here.
For real.
Yeah, but this is a real legit one word.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy P-Lot, a.k.a. the Brick Sling, and guess what? You're tuning in to the Not the Same podcast. Laborers.
This one word. No.
Of the day.
All right, the one word of the day is Antonio Brown. If you do not know what Antonio Brown did, I'm gonna help you out. I went and grabbed a picture of an edited picture, praise the Lord, because I don't really want to see this. But this is what Antonio Brown did. He was in Abu Dhabi, I believe that's where he was, overseas, and that blurred part is his manhood, and there's people in the pool, and he just showing it off. Let them see it. You know what I'm saying? Just let them see it. This one word. Now, I saw some other pictures when I was doing my research. I don't have these, but another picture that it has him with the same woman that's looking like this. He's over her, and she's like smacking his behind. And the next one he's picking her up, so he probably had a good night that night. That's what it looks like to me. But still, my man is kind of out of pocket up there, just exposing himself over there in Abu Dhabi. Is that what they do over there? I mean,
look, man. At this point, Antonio Brown, man, get some help.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because the last time we saw you here in the States, brother, you walked off and you did whatever you did when you walked off from the game, and you felt the type of way. And the next thing you know, you and Kanye dang near passed out on the sidelines because I was in full clothes and hoodies and face mask and boots.
Crazy.
So at this point, he's definitely the one word of the day because he had put his behind in the lady face. He out there with his manhood, whatever the case may be. She was laughing. I don't know what it was, but
what it came to. Right.
This is the lowest of the low, in my opinion, man. Was he having fun? Yeah, but there's new beaches for that if that's what you want to go do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was asked to leave. I looked a little more into the story, more than just internet. You know how? But no, the place, once he got in, because there was some guests that was uncomfortable about it, he got back to he got back in, and they asked him, hey, you got to leave our establishment. He didn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just went somewhere else and finished having a good time doing what he's doing. But the reason it makes me upset, man, because it just, as a black man, they already view us a certain type of way, bro. When we got money, you don't know how to act. They got one word money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about hard ER. That's one words with the ER with money. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to. They don't know how to conduct themselves. This is the foolery you get. And the moment this man runs out of money, OJ, R. Kelly, all these people that feel like they untouchable when they on top of the world, and they find out all they Hollywood friends and rapper friends, when they turn their back on you, and now you're in the cell for the rest of your life. I'm not wishing that on them. I just pray the brother get some help. And I know that was long-winded, but
you all good, bro.
This one right here bothered me, bro. It wasn't nothing funny about the whole thing, so.
Nothing at all, man. We as black people have to recognize who we are. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I know this brother needs some counseling. Before this happened, we knew this brother needs some counseling. Let's be honest. Let's be real about it. You know what I'm saying? My man basically halfway stripped and walked off the football field after Tom Brady basically literally bent over backwards, had moved you into his house so you can be on the right path. We forget about that. Tom Brady literally moved him in the house. That may be one of the reasons Giselle trying to dipset right now. We don't know. But my man got a real problem and real issues, man. And that's just a bad look, man. So many of us don't get to privileged situations. So many of us don't get to the point where we have stable income. So many of us are working multiple jobs to make ends meet. So many of us is working, 70-hour weeks, although it's only supposed to be 40-hour weeks. So many of us are doing that, and we would love to have that type of liberty and freedom to have money like that, to feel like you just don't care and let it hang. You know what I'm saying? But that is a bad look, bro. That is a bad look for black people. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes us look, and y'all, this is just for example. We don't normally say this word. It really makes us look like niggas. For real. I'm saying this for example. That's why it makes us look like that, because that's what people see. When they don't see, like when Rob walk in the store and he got his suit on and all that, a lot of people going to see, I saw Antonio Brown like that. That's what Rob going to probably do later on. You see what I'm saying? Or they may do me like that. I may be a nice guy, help somebody across the street and all that, but he set it back for all of us. It's just a problem, man.
Yeah, I don't think people really realize the depth to that, because it's always, they don't know how to act. They can't have nothing. It's always generalized.
It's not gonna be just Antonio Brown. It's
you know what I'm saying? It's all of them don't know how to act. They need to be in cages or whatever the case may be. And So that's the reason when I text C, I'm like, yo, this the one word of the day. And there wasn't no joking behind it. This, like Miss Dingle just said, it's embarrassing, bro.
Absolutely.
It's beyond embarrassing, and it borderline, and C said it, but the reason why C put it in that context with the, like, that's how they view it. Yeah, we make fun of one word of the day, but nah, this was a straight, look, the word nigger is ignorance. That's what it stands for. You dig what I'm saying? If you look it up, that's what it stands for. That's why anybody on here can be a one word of the day, because it doesn't matter the color of your skin. It matters how you act. And this one right here just really, really pissed me off. I'm sorry, bro, but it made me mad because, bro, you out here acting ignorant. You dig what I'm saying? And it's buffoonery. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they, man. Yeah, we good, bro.
And it's a shame. It's a shame that shouldn't be the only way that we have to make money. You feel what I'm saying? And obviously, that ain't the only way we got to make money, but we have to recognize. Let me put it this way. The Kardashians, to me, are just as much that ratchet. You feel what I'm saying? Just as much. They will never be looked at that way. And I'm not bringing up just an overly race thing, but let's keep it real, bro. Like, they will never be looked at that way. Listen,
no matter how many sex tapes.
Kim became popular from getting it in with Ray J. Let's keep it real now. You feel what I'm saying? And nobody looks at her sideways and like, oh, that's bad for the culture. That's bad for all people. Let a black woman do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Cardi B. She's a good rapper and all that. But you know how she makes money? Taking half her clothes off. You feel what I'm saying? She got to talk all extra and all that because of that. But those folks, them Kardashians that sell all this merch and sell perfume and sell these clothes, is just as bad. Just as bad. But think about it. They was invited to the White House. Ask some counsel. Now, I'm not saying these are evil people. Don't get it wrong. Don't get me wrong. Kim went up there and helped someone, and I'm gonna say, a lot of people know about this, helped a woman that was from Memphis get out of jail. So I'm not killing her, but I'm saying the way she got in is deplorable. And if it were to happen to someone of me and Rob's race, and so a lot of people that's watching this show race, it would not be taken the same way. Trust me. And just like Antonio Brown is going to be bad for all of us, just like any woman that does something like that is bad for all of our sisters that's over here in the chat. It's going to be bad for all of them because they all end up getting looked at through the same lens, man. And it's trash. So our brothers and sisters that get up here to these high levels and get your money, man, get your mind right. It's not just about you. This ain't just about you. You represent all of us. And I'm sorry, you may not want to be a political leader, or you may not want to be a preacher. You may not want to be that. But when you get this money and you get in front of these cameras, then there's a responsibility. Period. Responsibility. While I ain't telling you, I ain't saying nothing about your personal life. Do what you got, man. You could snort crack for all I care. Get out the camera though, fool. You know what I'm saying? Don't be no dummy in front of the camera. Anyway, man, go ahead, bro. Miss Dingo, family of ratcheticity. But you know what? It is.
She ain't lying.
Yeah, she ain't lying.
We can move on, bro. Listen, if y'all catch this later, if you catching it live, for those who peep in, because we know we got our people lots. This is not a race thing.
No.
Well, we're saying that we got something against other races. What we're saying is, what Antonio Brown did, it broke Twitter all over the place. People laughed and it made me sad, bro. Like, I got young boys. You dig what I'm saying? And you got a lot of hood dudes who, and I'm not calling my kids hood dudes, and I ain't got nothing against hood dudes. I grew up in the hood. My point is, you got a lot of hood dudes to look at this and say, that's what I got to do to be in. Right. I gotta be if I do this and I can do that, I gotta be a clown to get in, and they'll let you in for a minute. Yeah. Because it's entertaining.
Right.
But then they'll drop you off like a habit, bro. So
you remember on all those royal shows or whatever, in royal times, you had this thing called a court jester. You're like a little comedian. Yeah. And what happened to court jester after when they get tired of him? They kill him or get him up out of there.
Yeah, off with his head.
That's what you become. You become the court jester. When they tired of you, get up out of here. They'll do it to Kanye soon, because he doing some of the same type stuff. They'll do it to him soon. People stop listening to music. It'd be like, yeah, his music dope, he crazy. I'm tired of him. So all of a sudden he'll be swept on up out of here, man. But anyway, man, hey, we love y'all. We enjoy our show,
no doubt, man.
And we love all people. But, you know, we call a spade, man. Ain't no faking the flies over here. I'm just saying. Ain't none of that in this bill. Go ahead,
So,
brother.
After all of that, have you ever really thought, I really enjoy what these guys do with this podcast? How can I support them? How can I be a blessing to them? Look, you can hit that like, subscribe, notification button. Tell some of your folks what we doing over here at Not the Same Podcast.
Please do.
We here every other Tuesday with a Bible study, every Wednesday with our sports, every Thursday with the faith and music segment. So we got some dope interviews lined up on the way. Make sure you come back. Or you can hit that Cash App sign, Not the Same Podcast after the Cash App. Every little bit helps, and we do appreciate it. We put it into what you see behind us, what you see on camera. We're always trying to upgrade to be better so we can do things in excellence. Or you can go to the website, notthesamepodcast.com/support. We also got merch, man. So, hey, get that merch while you can.
Yeah. With that being said, man, we appreciate y'all watching, man. I want to shout out Miss Dingle. She's been a faithful supporter, man. She always talks us something all the time. Salute to you, sis. We appreciate it and we see it, and it's very appreciated. We thank you and everybody else who has given and anybody giving time or sown prayers or even told people about us. We appreciate it. We don't take it lightly, man. And, you know, yes, we're having fun, but we do realize the platform and the responsibility we have to be right. Not right on every sports thing, but try to just do right. You know what I'm saying? And do right with people's gifts and offerings, so to speak. That's helping the Not the Same Podcast. So, man, we love y'all, man. We see y'all tomorrow on our Music and Faith show. I'm C. Micah. Yes, sir.
I'm Robert Dean, Heat Nation.
Riz Gang. We see y'all tomorrow.
Christ lives in us, so we gave us the strength, so we gave us the power.